Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Kapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Karuga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5, Kapla, and welcome to another extra hour with Bird. Welcome, Mr. Lundell.
Kapla Bird. Welcome.
Kapla. It is Tuesday, November 7th, Election Day, 2023. And I'm awake. Had a nap. I'm up. I don't know for how long. I think I've got an hour. I think that's safe. I don't know about 2. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Mr. Lundell was first in the chat as well as first up on the panel. I said, Kapla, damn it. Kapla again. LDG at hashtag free the net is out there. Says, yo, welcome LDG. Bradley Briggs says, zup y'all, zup Bradley. Richie Poole yells, yay. Welcome, Richie. Rock Solid Productions. 37 months as a subscriber. Says 37 months. Time to unsubscribe yet? Nope. You got to get to at least 38 months before the unsubscribe feature is unlocked. I think must be how it works. Otherwise, I can't imagine anyone would make it to 37. Mike Richards is greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards, the official package inspector of Karuga. Richie Poole puts in some alpaca emojis. Resolute Germ says hello, Resolute. Low Specs Linux laptop is in the house. Welcome. Hakeem says, hey everyone, welcome Hakeem. Richie Poole says, Bird of Prey 5. You're going to run it like a business. Indeed. Rock Solid wants some Dear Bob. I don't believe we have any Dear Bobs. I'm certainly not set up to read the Dear Bobs. But we'll check. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hakeem says, I'm loving these extra hours, but hate that you can't get some good sleep. Well, thank you, Hakeem. I also hate that I can't get some good sleep, but Your loss is my gain. No, my loss is your gain. I don't think anybody's really gaining. I'm just losing.
But look, Bird, go to Amazon, melatonin.
Melatonin.
Yeah, buy you some melatonin. It's natural.
Sounds like a dependency,
no
chemical dependency.
No, I use it sometimes. It's all natural, and it'll put you to sleep.
It'll put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Hello, LDG. Welcome to the panel.
Wait a second. Did I miss member stream today? Are you kidding me?
This isn't a member stream.
No. But isn't today the second Tuesday?
Is it the second Tuesday? What's the day?
Oh no, it wasn't. The month started on Wednesday. Okay. Thank God, dude. Because like as soon as you went live, I'm like, wait a second. It's Tuesday, and I know it's the second week of the month, but it started on Wednesday. So no, that would be next Tuesday.
God for this oversight on your behalf.
Why not?
Had you missed the member stream,
It'd be ironic as hell.
Yeah, I guess, but it's certainly. I don't think it gets to the point they have to complain to the creator of the universe and everything about possibly missing a Bird members only stream.
I'm just following the chain of command, Bird.
Fair enough.
If it was a member stream, Yvette would have reminded you.
Thomas Potts says at least it gives me something to listen to. LDG can't think without AI. Those are both valid points, not related, but valid. What's your AI master say about that, LDG?
I have my AI master. Okay, I'm not freaking. I'm trying to think of something off the bat here.
Right, but you can't. You gotta put it through. You gotta put it through an AI to get an answer.
I'm gonna have to put your foot through my foot through your ass in a second here. I mean, I do not answer to the almighty 1 and 0s or whatever. Okay.
I gotta
no, thank you.
Just right out of the gate, Bird.
Uh-oh.
So we got a new person backstage who I have never seen before, and has never apparently chatted in chat. Oh wait.
Oh, it's Roxy.
Never mind.
It's freaking Roxy. Yeah.
Hello, world. Are there some vicious doggos?
Yes, those are the two new boys that I don't think I've had on here with you guys before. So this is Remy and his brother Gus that we got back in July.
Which one's on top?
Gus, Remy is on top. Gus is on the bottom. They are their last vet visit. Remy was 31 pounds and Gus was 35.
Oh.
So yeah, they're good boys. But I figured it had been a while since I had been on. Hi, buddy. So I figured I'd step on and.
Yes, it has been a while. I'm glad you're doing well, or at least
I just
doing.
Started a new job back September 11th because nothing ever bad happened that day. And it's one of those where you can't be you can listen to podcasts, but you can't have YouTube open in the background. It's like, what the fuck ever.
What?
Yeah.
Do they even understand what the difference is?
No. It's perception becomes reality, so that's what's important.
Hello, 47 Yorktown. Josh.
You're stinky.
Josh says, Bird, what happens when you need to complain about things if we have to complain to our creator, since we're all voices in your mind, you're not voices in my mind. Richie Pools is Bird of Prey 5. Are you paying us overtime for these extra hours? No, I think Mamo Prey pays for my friends. See, there was a joke when I was a kid that I had no friends. The joke that my sister started was that Mamo Prey had to pay everybody who I thought was my friend to be my friend. And then I kind of started. I started believing that might be true.
Damn.
She denies it though. Mamo Prey denies it, not Sissy.
You let your little sister play with your head like that?
I didn't let her. She just did it. To be honest, I was so didn't care that I really wasn't sure. I mean, to be honest, it made sense. It made sense. Like, why did my friend really want to be my friend? I mean, the reality was we were only friends because we lived across the street from each other. It's not that we had anything else in common that, we would have found each other across the playground or something. Like, oh, do you want to be friends? No, that's not how it works.
I see you and I raise you. My middle brother was adopted because my mom had back issues. So my dad had a vasectomy after my oldest brother was born. So you figure this out for yourself. Oldest brother, then vasectomy, then adoption, and somehow I come along.
Wow.
So middle brother was like, yeah, mom and dad had you, but they chose me.
Got you there.
Yeah. He's wrong, but he ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Resolute sees the doggos. Josh says, Richie, you know as well as everyone, we have to pay Bird for the extra hours. That's more about it. And Thomas Potts, you would have had more friends if you didn't bite the other kid. Well, the other kid should have waited their goddamn line. Time and space in line. And I wouldn't have had to fucking bite them.
That was going to haunt you forever, isn't it?
Fuckers. Cody Guy says, hey, Cody Guy. Make sure here's some advice, Cody Guy. Don't skip the line. Free advice from Bird of Prey 5. Don't skip the line.
Did he get in trouble for skipping the line? Or did they just
No, he didn't get in trouble for skipping the line because he got bit. So he played the victim.
Well, he was the victim. You bit him.
He wasn't the victim. Truth and justice were the victim. I was the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah. Now, just to be fair, I don't blame you. For some type of a protest or something.
Protest.
Yeah, that was.
Was I gonna fucking pull a sit-in?
Well, it was a bite-in. I guess you could say.
47 Yorktown says, "Is dog fighting allowed?"
Yeah, I was going to say, technically, are you streaming a dog fight right now?
Josh Street says, one of the doggos is acting like a very young bird right now.
Oh,
I think I saw that. Though not, I wouldn't say, certainly not where I saw the dog.
Yeah. So, story behind these guys is, if you remember, we lost our Beagle Border Collie mix back at the end of January, and we hadn't really been looking to get a new dog, but our last dog that we had out of our pack, she just wasn't the same since we lost Murph. And so I started looking around. I've always had labs my whole life. And I found these guys on like a local, it wasn't the Humane Society, but it was like a nonprofit website. And there was a litter of, it's either 9 or 10 of them. And we went down to go take a look at it. And this was like the last, not the last weekend in July, but the second to last weekend. And we had seen this guy's picture here, whose name was, I think they called him Mario. No, yeah, he was Mario. He was Fat Joe. And we had gone down and take a look, and we were going to discuss. And our thought process was, probably get at least one, maybe two, because of the fact that when our oldest dog now passes, she'll be 8 in February. These guys at least would still have a companion around, so we wouldn't have the same issue that we have right now. Well, when we went to go visit, the whole thing was that we were going to go take a look at them, and they wouldn't be ready for 2 weeks. Well, when we go and look at them, they're like, well, you want to take them now? Like, well, they need to be, weaned off their mom and whatnot. Oh, they've been on solid food now for like 2.5, 3 weeks. And they were supposedly 7 weeks old. They told us they were born on July 6th. No, it had to have been the last weekend in July. We're like, well, okay, if you want us to take them, fine. We'll take these two, grab, some puppy food and blankets and whatnot, and drove them home. On the way home, I'm doing the math, and I'm like, there ain't no way these guys are 6 weeks old. I did the math. They were 4.5 weeks old, and they were giving them like regular, not even puppy food, just regular dog kibble. So, and they were both loaded with fleas. So I'm glad that, I wish they would have stayed with the mother a little bit longer. It was her first litter too. So she didn't know, and they didn't know how to kind of help her, encourage her to feed. But I mean, as you can see, these two numbnutses they're thriving. They're doing good. Today's the 7th.
Today is the 7th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you figure July, August, September, October, November. They're 4 months old yesterday, and they are thriving. So we're still fighting a little bit of, they've got some worm issues that we're fighting, but they're doing pretty good.
Very cool. Very nice that these doggies found a nice home.
And they're vicious.
Yeah, I can tell. And welcome, Poe. Resolute says they are a good size for 4 months.
Yeah, they are. You figure, so Gus is the bigger of the two. Remy here he was the runt of the litter, which that was kind of my goal has always been, I've always wanted the runt of the litters if I'm getting a lab, because I want a full-size dog, but still a smaller size full-size dog. My yellow lab I had before, my border collie mix I have now, Max got to be, he was like 70, 75 pounds, so decent but not huge. My black lab I had as a kid, Cinder, she was about the same size, about maybe 65, 70 pounds. So Remy here, they figured he's going to be about 80 pounds when he's full grown, and Gus will be probably close to 100 pounds. And they got paws. They got paws on them.
Melted Copper says, hey guys, who doesn't love darkness at like 5? I'm not sure I understand.
Daylight savings.
Ah. Yeah.
I'm not that crazy about it.
Melted Copper's got 2 Shih Tzu mutts that don't shed and hate haircuts.
I went to a zoo once and only had one animal. It was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Oh, with a 99-cent super sticker. Thank you so much, Poe. What was the sticker? Sunglasses, shades. Thank you, Poe. Oh, and Melted Copper says maybe drinking martini emoji. Barber time was a bad idea. Thomas Foss is lolling at rock solid. Always cool to get a up close and personal puppy stream. Thomas Foss says, I don't think they got your joke.
I don't think they did either, Thomas. Should I tell it again? I went to a zoo once. It only had one animal. It was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
That was a bad zoo. I get it. It was also the type of dog they had at the zoo.
Yeah.
I got it. I got the joke. I didn't know how to respond.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to know how to laugh at that without sounding like an idiot or finding it funny.
Some jokes, I mean, you get it, but it's just not funny. Yeah, so that's.
I went to a zoo once.
Yeah.
I understand.
We understand. It was a shitty zoo. We understand that.
Yeah, I mean that joke was funny when South Park did it. Shitty chicken.
Absolute Germ says that's one bad joke.
That's one shitty joke.
It's a shitty walk. It's Sheep Hot Town.
Richie Poole says some jokes just aren't funny.
The
Melted
joke was
Copper.
funny. I was just laughing 10 years ago.
Melted Copper says the internet is really chewing up Star Wars lately, but they all lose in the new trilogy. So it's sort like watching terminal people who fail across the board. I think is their real issue.
I'm not seeing Star Wars getting torn up as much lately as people making predictions that the new Captain Marvel is going to be terrible.
I think that's really prediction.
That's more of a spoiler.
Saying, oh, there's going to be a terrible winter storm or a hurricane.
In other news, LDG made a bad point. You know, it's just one of those things that happens.
Melted Copper says, Andor is sentient beach sand. It sort of undercuts hopes on where the show is going. 47 Yorktown, he's have had 4 labs plus 2 lab mixes. I will never forget the smell of a wet Labrador.
Yes, you will never forget that. It's not as bad as German Shepherd funk, though. Those things stink.
My boss had labs. They jumped in the pool all the time. I don't remember them smelling.
The pool's
Thomas says, how can you spoil the marbles when it's garbage? Melted Copter says, Captain Marvel is getting sent through the ashes. They do Rogue versus Miss Marvel. It's only Miss Marvel story people mostly know if you're a comic guy. Hello, Captain Infinity, with some popcorn. And Resolute Germ says, if they didn't get the joke, they sure aren't getting the Paul I think he means Hartman reference. Paul Hammond reference. I think Hartman. I don't know. I don't get any.
So are they making? So they're making a Riddick 4. I understand.
Riddick 4.
Yeah, remember?
I don't know what the hell Riddick.
Another
2,
Riddick
3.
movie? I haven't heard about that yet.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah. Vin Diesel.
Yeah, you never seen any of those movies, Bird?
No.
Pitch Black, I think one was. What the hell?
That's the boys. They're fighting.
There we go. Go ahead.
He wouldn't like Pitch Black, but Chronicles of Riddick, the second and the third one, he would probably like. Well, no, he wouldn't like the third one because they're like some chewy monsters in that one.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't think Bird would like that horror level.
Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Kapla Bird, it's Fontana time in South Texas. Fontana time.
Botana. I have no idea what that is, and I'm a Texan. So.
Okay. And Melted Copper says, Paul Hyman is a huge WWE mouthpiece. I have no idea.
Should be Paul Heyman. Heyman. Like, hey, man.
Hey, man. Gotcha. Well, I don't know anything about WWE. The only thing I know about WWF is that it ended decades ago. That was when wrestling used to be decent. So they gave up the fight against the goddamn World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah.
Of all the things you're gonna bend the knee to, a fucking hippie organization to take care of animals.
Well, and
It's not even to
technically,
take care of animals.
they recently shared too that the World Wildlife Foundation like either let their trademark lapse or something, so WWE could have gone back to WWF, but at that point in time they had spent as much time, if not slightly longer, as WWE as WWF, because before WWF it was WWWF. There was a third W.
Yeah, but still, there was a WWF, World Wrestling Federation, before there was the World Wildlife Fund.
Right.
You know, I guess Vince was just saying, I'm going to be a nice guy and let him have it.
The Traveler says, Vertebrae 5, what are you doing up at this time of night? Well, it's the extra hour, Traveler. I'm napping in the evening, so I've got a little extra awake time before I go to sleep. So we're gonna have extra hour with Bird every so often. This might be the last one. Who knows? Resolute Germs is all the Riddick movies are watchable. Not great, but watchable. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, I tried to enter the stream to show this amazing food. Oh, well, please try again if you can. Thomas says, wrestling was good at some time. Yeah, back in the
80s.
day, Thomas.
Yeah.
The 80s, it was good. When you had like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Macho Man, when it was actually, wrestling versus sports entertainment.
And Richie Poole uses his 14-month super chat, member super chat, saying, hey, do these things expire? I'm going to use it just in case. And yeah, they kind of do. You get one free super chat a month. And if you don't use it, it just
You
goes
lose it.
away. So by all means, by all means use it.
Yeah, and-
Melted Copper says Vince McMahon is like the greatest bartend. Is that a word? Is the last? I'm sorry. Vince McMahon is like the last great bartend and Bailey theatrical carnival figure.
Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah.
Barnum
Barnum
and
and-
Bailey. Yeah.
Barnum and Bailey circus.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Now, but what really made wrestling for me interesting in like late 70s into the 80s was you had all these different little mom and pop organizations. And a lot of the guys were just like, journeymen. And you would see them, maybe he'd wrestle in Dallas for 6 months or so. Then he was at, whatever's going on in Houston, and then, whatever. And a lot of the independent television stations would run a bunch of those different syndicated wrestling shows. I think WWF kind of messed it up and started buying them up.
Well, being in Texas, and not pointing out that you're older, but you're around my age. Did you ever go to UWF stuff back in the 70s and 80s? Because UWF was a territory run by Bill Watts in and around the Texas area. That's like where Sting was at, and Dusty Rhodes was there for a while.
I never went to any of them. I did some channel. One of the independent channels here ran their stuff for a little while because somebody bought them out like quick. I guess I know once I left the Army is when I first heard of UWF. And
Yeah, the Turner bought out UWF. That's where for a while. That's kind of where, like, I think even Barry Windham was there for a while. Jim Duggan was in the UWF for a while. So I mean, a lot of the, like I say, and that's.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Skandar Akbar and what was his?
Was it Abdullah the Butcher?
Well, Abdullah the Butcher had always been a journeyman.
Right.
Just he showed up everywhere but WWF. I think.
Just a quick break in here. We have Saul Leibowitz, amazing food selection. It's gone now, but it looked good. It looked good while it was there. Thank you, Saul Leibowitz.
Yeah. And Resolute, well, being from Texas, you're kind of born on Von Erichs, okay? So, you're a fan regardless because everybody in Texas knows the damn Von Erichs, knew the Von Erichs,
Oh, yeah.
For like 5 years, they ran this fucking state, okay? So.
Yeah, Gorilla says another hour with Bird, and I missed half of it. Son of a bitch. No worries. You can listen on 2X. I'm not talking all that fast.
That's okay. Some of us don't think all that fast either. So there's that.
Yeah.
Melted Copper says it's 7 in Illinois and pretty nice out. That is.
It is never nice in Illinois because it is, in fact, Illinois.
Wait. What, 7 degrees?
No, it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say, because you certainly don't mean 7 Fahrenheit, maybe 7 Celsius, but then why would you be in Illinois and saying Celsius? 7 o'clock, that makes much more sense. It's the last great circus of trapeze artists. Barnum and Bailey, got it. And executive producer Saul Leibowitz. Sorry, lost the feed. That was bean soup, botana, and homemade tortillas. it all looked good to me.
Yeah.
It all looked good to me. Can you believe the Alamo doesn't have a basement? Ever since I was a child, that Pee Wee Herman movie.
Damn Pee-wee.
Yes. Yes, I can believe it.
Okay, hold on. We need to put this to the test here. Everyone keep an eye on Mr. Lundell, please. Me. The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Steve, okay. Pee Wee, at least that wasn't a lie from Pee Wee.
I wasn't expecting the clapping.
That's how you do the song.
No.
Thank you for playing along, by the way.
I'm in a good mood. I don't know why.
Resolute Germs is some of us avoid the hassle and don't think at all. Gap After Dark says, hey, Bird, how are you feeling? So, Gap. Good enough to do the stream. So that's a win. And Gap says, hello all. Hello, Gap. Resolute Germ says, hey, to Gap. And Gap says, Resolute, Lad, Lundell, and the guy with the dogs. That's a hi to you.
Rock solid.
Rock solid, yeah.
The guy with the dogs.
And Gap says, LDG, not Lad. There he is.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind being called.
Rock Solid.
Lad.
Did Rock Solid just accidentally leave? I guess so. He was looking sadly into the camera.
Illinois internet. What can I say?
Melted Copper says, I usually do my feeling with my hands. Nemesis of Eden says, Kapla. Hope you are having a lovely evening, Kapla, Nemesis of Eden. And Rock Solid says, yeah, sorry I hit the wrong button, but I'm going to get going anyways. No problem, Rock Solid. Thank you for hanging out and showing us the doggies.
Yeah.
Much
it was
love.
Interesting.
Gap says, hey to Nemesis and Rock Solid. And Rock Solid says, we're trying to flip the camera to show the boys. Oh, well. Would have been nice, but it was a nice time nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say Mama Prey and I have begun watching the second season of Quantum Leap, where I believe 2 episodes in, with another 2 or 3 episodes to go. It's not what it used to be, for sure, but there's not a hell of a lot of quality television these days. So
I've noticed that.
it,
I find myself watching more than the old stuff on Pluto than anything.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of whole other new stuff that we watch at all. So I'd say this is still one of the only things on network TV that we still go back for.
Oh, it's on NBC, not Peacock.
Well, I mean, it's on Peacock as well, but
Oh, okay.
it's I call it because it airs regularly on network TV. So I call it a network TV show that you can happen to be able to stream. It's not a streaming show that technically Yellowstone is a cable TV show. because it airs for the first time on cable TV. Very few people actually stream it the first night it airs.
So it's just right. It's on the Paramount
Right.
television. It's on the
Paramount.
Paramount cable network,
Yeah.
and then they stream it on Paramount Plus.
Well, no, they stream it on Peacock because they sold the streaming rights, because the show actually predates Paramount Plus.
How did they
The
pull that
show
off?
the show premiered on Paramount Television the year before CBS All Access, or like CBS All Access was just getting started and Paramount didn't own it yet or whatever. So they actually sold the rights, the streaming rights, before they had a streaming service of their own. So it royally effed them, because
No,
if they had had access, they'd be killing it.
Yeah, I mean, but All Access has been out there a while. It was
I know.
They were streaming Star Trek
Discovery.
reruns. Well, they were doing reruns of at least a couple years before they went behind the paywall and did Discovery. I ran across it.
Well, it must have been
some
free or
years-
something.
Yes, yeah, it
at
was
the
free.
time.
They had commercials. It
Well,
was,
if that's it, because if it's free, nobody was paying them then. For
well, they were running commercials. It was CBS All Access, so it was their property anyway. I mean, so
yeah, but I mean, they were looking to make money.
Yeah.
And Paramount, Peacock was willing to pay them.
yeah,
So, in hindsight, had they kept it one more year, they would have been, they screwed the pooch there. I mean, they had no idea how much it would have been worth it to them.
so I've never seen Yellowstone. So what's it like? Dallas was
And I've never seen Dallas.
okay. Dallas, it was a rich oil family, and the drama behind that. The
Yeah, I
two
guess.
sons, the
I
two
mean-
sons fighting over the company, and
Yeah, I mean, the family isn't so much fighting itself. I guess it kind of is, but it's more like the family worth versus the rest of the world.
so
It's really the three things. You've got the Native Americans, you've got the state of Montana, and you've got the Duttons, who is the family who own the ranch. Now, even within them, the family doesn't get along with itself. The state, obviously, they have Republicans and Democrats, and they don't get along with themselves. And even on the Native American ranch reservation, there are people there who are in politics for themselves, and not everybody, So from the outside, if you go against the Native Americans, they'll all come together. If you go against the state, they'll all stand together. If you go against the Duttons, they'll all stand together. But if they'll also fight amongst themselves, and if they're not under direct pressure, they can be split. It's and then you over time you learn why things are the way they are, why one family member hates another, why so and so married the other person,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay, that's Dallas for the new millennium, basically.
Well, I never wanted to watch a soap opera, but I don't mind watching.
You're watching a
Like
soap opera.
No, soap operas are for moms.
Now look,
This is
Dallas, Falcon Crest, Dynasty, 3 primetime soap operas, the 70s into the 80s. Okay, people watched them. Okay, husband and wife watched the primetime shows, and I guess the wives watched the daytime stuff. If they weren't working. So it's there.
Gab After Dark
Yeah.
says, hey to Mama Pray. Melted Copper says, Sam Beckett never made it home. What an uplifting ending. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the new Quantum Leap only reconfirms that. Good for you, Birds, is Resolute. Gab says, beautiful dogs, from what I could see, rock solid. Melted Copper says, there's an old show like The Naked Gun called Sledgehammer I found on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember that comedy by the police officer.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. It is. It's probably
I know
where they
there's the
got the idea.
files of Police Squad. I mean, that legit is, where Naked Gun came from.
Yeah. But this show came out before Police Squad or the Naked Gun stuff.
Melted Coppers is not sure if you guys like Godzilla, but -1 OS heading to US theaters. There's Godzilla seems to kill a lot just in the trailer.
Well, you got to figure he is killing a lot of people, just knocking over a building. If and it hits the street, it's got to be mashing people up. And and he's probably eating a few of the people as well. So they just didn't show it in the old Toho movies.
Resolute Germs with Paramount needed cash quick, so they made a bad deal. Melted Copper says, I'm curious, in the geriatric election of 80-year-olds and Kennedy, how things place, since hating one and blindingly grabbed the other is a tad complex this round.
Well, hell, all 3 of them are old men. Kennedy ain't a spring chicken himself. Okay, so tell you the truth, I'd rather have Trump back.
Welcome, Basco Scenario. Resolute says, so Days of Our Lives. So it's Days of Our Lives with Cowboys. And Gap says, hey to Basco. And Tim is here. Hey, Tim. Kapla. Melted Copper says, old Tahoe has some good ones. All monsters attack. It's a great evil Godzilla film where sometimes is the good. I mean, sometimes he is good.
Toho. Toho. That's the production company that owns Godzilla.
And we got a $1.49 donation from LDG, or at least someone claiming to be LDG.
I'd say
Saying all these shows ripped off Babylon 5. I mean,
wow.
that does sound like something LDG would say.
Yeah, he's still on there.
Only DS9, okay? Not everything, okay? Just DS9.
LDG.
I'm not saying DS9 isn't good.
LDG had some connection quality issues. Are you there,
What?
LDG?
Can you guys not hear me? Hello?
Hello?
We hear you.
Hello?
We hear you. We hear you now.
Yeah. It's just DS9, man.
Huh?
And DS9 was only good because they ripped off BS5.
What are you?
I don't know what he's talking
Babylon
about.
5.
Blah, blah, blah.
DS5? What the fuck was DS5?
That's LDG, not
Babylon. I don't know, whatever.
Brain
Babylon
doesn't
5.
connect the mouth. That's his problem.
I know. I'm getting tired. Okay, it's just don't blame me. Damn Bird's the one who's streaming this late.
Okay.
It's only
Go take a nap.
I am. Whatever.
Yeah. Snooze.
I don't know why you guys fight that. I mean, we all know that Deep Space Nine ripped off Babylon. We know that it's a fact.
Okay, but you know what? Sci-fi rips off other sci-fi. Period.
Yeah.
It's only so many ways. It's only so many ways you can leave Earth and go to another planet.
Infinite combinations, infinite diversity, meaning you can keep going on forever, Mr. Londale.
Yeah,
some people might not believe in infinite, but I do.
But I mean, it does to me.
But nothing.
It is.
I believe it's infinitely wrong because it's funny.
Yeah, you either have infinite different stories or you don't. There's not an in between.
Sometimes
Melted Copper says Kennedy is I assume means a spry 70-year-old that baby needs to wait 10 years.
What?
I don't know. I assume needs to wait 10 years to run.
We talking about the current Senator Kennedy from
the one that's running independent.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, there you go.
The guy with the raspy voice that's running for president.
He's actually running for president.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I just want him to take votes away from old crotchety.
I like listening to him on Forbes, listening to his clips and stuff, they're entertaining. But man, I can't imagine that guy representing us to the other countries of the world. Well, Your Majesty, I don't think we should be doing that. It's just that voice is pretty weak.
Melted Copper says they recast classic track. What would you think of TNG film with new guys? Who would you recast? I wouldn't recast TNG. Let TNG die. It's old. It's done. We move on.
Let's just rerun it. That's it.
I
don't agree with recasting shit. I hate it when they fucking do that because usually 99% of the time a redo is worse than the original. 99% of the time, and the only one I would give a caveat to is Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
really good.
I'll agree with that. Galactica was.
Ron Moore did a damn good job on that.
See, but all he did was took the original themes and made them grown up. because there was in the original there was that threat of genocide.
Yeah.
It was but instead of not saying the word, they said the word in the reboot. They made it
invented the word frack.
Yeah. Now that
well, actually, they didn't invent it. It was just repurposed.
Yeah.
Repurposed. They never used Feldercarb though. I really wanted them to reuse Feldercarb. That one was
Gallmungy. This one.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, remember when they found the Pegasus?
Yeah.
That was a word that their commander always used. The Gallmungy Cylons.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought the actor just did that. I mean, come on, Lloyd Bridges.
Yeah.
I think he did that in Hot Shots. Got any soup?
Gab After Dark says frack was used by the original Starbuck in the original Battlestar Galactica. It was not created in the reboot.
No. I corrected myself.
Yeah, it did. That was, I guess that was one of his member berries.
Like I said, repurposed.
Yeah. Because they.
I think old Starbuck used to say it like you would say the word crap. Oh crap. Oh frack. And then they turned it into the acronym, the alternative for the other 4-letter.
That was. I always looked at it like they were dropping an F-bomb.
I didn't, but then again, I was a young kid when I first watched that show, so.
And it even came more apparent in the reboot that
was the reboot, definitely.
Yeah, it was
because how many times did they reference it for the for the activity and not just the profanity? Yeah. Who wants a good frack today? Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
like
right.
I said, repurposed.
Yeah. Well, I think what they were doing, especially in the original show, was trying to tap into, salty language that soldiers would use. That was a thing. That sailors and soldiers were known for like using profanity a lot, which he didn't really, at least when I was in the Army.
Well, my buddy Tony was serving on a destroyer, and he told me they use quite a bit of language on his ship, anyways. At least when they weren't on duty. I always had to slap him when a pretty young girl walked by, like, dude, she might be 14.
Uh-huh.
And he just looked at me like, well,
so?
his hair's in the right place. I'm like, oh, shoot, shut up. like, what are you doing? Then again, we did work at Walmart.
Wow.
Sorry, Bird. Go ahead.
No. I was wondering how that one was going to end. Gap After Dark says, Frank, I read that. Melted Copper says, Dank Ferrick is like God darn Nabbit in Star Wars.
Melted Copper must be on his phone.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's a a
It's a-
communication issue.
Now it's a lot of typos.
And the thing is, I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Nabbit.
We all
It's like what Bugs Bunny was.
Actually, I think there is a phrase called "dang ferret," if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in the. I think it was actually used in one of the new shows too. Either Ahsoka or Mandalorian or something. Or I seem to recall hearing it.
Dang fair. Okay, that from Star Wars. With the exception of the movies, I could give a shit about Star Wars. and then only the first 6. You know, I will admit to liking all 6 of the movies that Lucas created.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the prequels. Little dry, but no big deal. Didn't bother me.
A little too much of what's his face. Miso, whatever.
Oh, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, a little too much Jar Jar.
I didn't have a problem with Jar Jar Binks. I don't know what I could, maybe I could just compartmentalize it. I saw what they were doing. That was a different race that lived underwater, and they didn't get along with the people on land, and so they just stayed away from one another.
Isolationists. Nothing wrong with that.
Because I know a lot of people, especially black people, they really got mad about Jar Jar Binks, and then at the end,
because the voice actor was black.
Yeah, at
and
the
he got so
end,
much shit for it. They started interpreting it as racism and shit.
and then at the end, when his people, they met, I guess with it was that procession they had to meet with Amidala and her people to, I guess, make a peace treaty or whatever. And it was that drums, they were marching to that drum beat. It pissed a lot of people off because they thought it was Grambling's band, Grambling marching band or something. I'm like, what? I mean,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Well, no, this lady I was dating at the time, she graduated from Southern, and that was the thing with her. The only thing she didn't like about me was that I liked Star Wars. And, I even you explain the 3 movies, 4, 5, and 6 with words like redemption and stuff like that, and still it's like she didn't get it. I mean, no, it was
4, 5, and 6 lost you a girlfriend. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Yeah. I guess you could
she
say
wasn't
that.
worth keeping, was she?
I know. I realized that.
I guess she didn't pass the test.
No, she didn't. Well, almost. She did like she was a Trek fan.
Oh, well, that complicates things.
It was just the Star Wars, because you get into the the meat of discussions, especially with Star Wars. You understand why the Empire lost to the Rebels. The Empire did not have the right war equipment. Big ships meant to harass a planet. When the Rebels show up with a whole bunch of these little quick fighters and they drop bombs, just blow those big ships up before they knew what happened. There was no way that
hyperspace capable fighters that didn't need to be landed on a carrier ship.
All they needed to know is where the target was, and they could get there, blow it up, and and that's what one of the main reasons that they lost. They were just like the Empire were just like bullies, But she couldn't see that. But like a lot of people I knew, they could. I guess ex-army guys, they understood. A small, quick, tight, force against something big and slow. Yeah, it'll win every time. So, Melted Copper. New Star Wars could be great, but making all the heroes lasers and closing with the Emperor's daughter taking their name and walking into the sunset. So means evil wins. What an uplifting ending. That's why I did. That's why I've never seen that movie, and I don't think I want to, because that was definitely made by somebody who didn't understand.
I didn't know about that part until I saw it, and the part that bothers me is they literally, and this is after Craig K. Kennedy said, well, we've got no material to work off of to make our movies. That's why they're not doing so well. That's why we're having problems with them. Yet they ripped off one of their own comic books in a really bad one. I mean, it wasn't even it was a very controversial comic too. Dark Empire. Almost every base plot point came right out of that book. I mean, it literally is where we got to watch Dark Empire in movie form. Which, if it was actually with Luke, Han, and Leia and the rest of the normal gang, and done with with the exact plot, it probably would have been all right. But no,
I mean,
it was basically a repair job. It was a oh shit, we need to fix this, so let's do this.
I mean, I've said this a billion times. All they had to do was, 30 years after the Emperor is dead, Luke has managed to train X amount of Jedi. You've got a little bitty republic, a vast nothingness that's real lawless, kind of in the dark ages, and what's left of the Empire at the other end. And they're fighting amongst themselves. And once somebody gets almost to the top, something happens and he or she gets toppled. Okay. Perfect introduction for that Grand Admiral, the blue guy.
Yeah. Heir to the Empire. All they had to do is if they wanted to copy something, just make the Heir to the Empire trilogy. That's all they had to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have turned that into a movie because those are damn good books.
Well, yeah. Plus, you've got you've got Jedi out there, and they're going, into the wild areas, helping, and then you can have all that. Plus, it's a republic. You got politicians. Politicians make deals and they do dirty shit to get power. You got, and Luke and his Jedi have to deal with that and helping spread democracy to, what's in the dark ages. It could have been, just real interesting. And that would be just one, all that could be one TV show. And that's all they would have needed, Disney Plus would have needed.
Yeah.
And from that, you could have had all kind of material springing from that. and a lot of it could have been, some of it could have been movies, but they were so busy, put a chick in and make her gay. I think South Park got that so right, and that's probably why Kathleen Kennedy is pissed off. She probably told that to a bunch of people. Put a chick in it and make her gay.
Force is female. Gotta have the female. Gotta have the women. Oh well. They gotta have their women.
If Star Wars is stuck in the past across the board, why not make Shadows of the Empire? Too damn late. Melton Cop was too damn late. They've screwed it up.
Yeah, that actually, from what I understand, I never actually read Shadows of the Empire, but I heard that is like the unofficial sequel to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, technically. Never read it, but I did collect a lot of the toys. I have me a Dash Rendar's Outrider sitting in the other room. In fact, I was just going through all my X-Wing miniature stuff. That's why I was so silent today in the underground. I was working on all that shit, putting all my ships on their stands and kind of sorting through the stuff, trying to find a better way to store it all.
Boba Fett is a family man, business owner with a pet dinosaur who wanted a bounty hunter adventure. No,
I can't figure out.
I mean, I only saw one episode of Boba Fett, and
Book of Boba Fett was awful.
He almost got his ass kicked trying to go out and collect tribute.
Fucking awful. Just stupid awful.
He was the bounty hunter. He was a henchman for one of the biggest gangsters in the in the galaxy, and he's taken over his territory. Boba Fett would not be a nice guy because it wouldn't only be him trying to take over.
Boba Fett wouldn't give a shit about territory.
Yeah,
his whole idea, his whole character concept was about being the most feared person in the galaxy. I mean, I just, the idea of him wanting to become Daimo of some backwater fucking planet like Tatooine, fuck that. I could see him on a fucking resort when he retires. Not sitting in a sandbox in the middle of nowhere. That whole show just the only, I hate to say it, the only entertaining part of it was the flashbacks with him and the Sand People. That was actually the only thing I was more interested in that part of the story than I was in the current main part of the story. It was stupid. I mean, and the funniest part I thought was when he went back to get his ship and he's sitting there trying to pull it out of Jabba's hangar bay, and he's driving it like Stevie fucking Wonder. He's spinning it around in this tight area and just smashing everything with it. Like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? And then he goes back to the Sarlacc pit to look for his fucking armor, which he knows he was wearing when he pulled himself out of the Sarlacc pit.
No, the jaw was stripped.
Yeah, but he still had to have known it was still on him when he crawled out. Right?
Yeah.
It never came off. So the Sarlacc pit didn't I don't know, like he didn't pull Boba Fett out of his armor like you pull the center out of an olive in your mouth, you know? Oh, so much stupid.
Yeah.
And his lines are so awful too. Like when he tips his ship to shine his lights into the Sarlacc pit, and it grabs the ship, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then what's her face hits the button for the seismic charge, which arguably was kind of funny. And his big line after that whole sequence was, "Don't touch my buttons." Like, what the fuck is that? What? Don't touch my buttons. Fuck. Yeah, kindergartners writing these shows, I swear.
No, kindergartners are more talented.
Fucking embarrassing.
Sad.
Mandalorian is, I'm sorry, just kind of boring. I just don't really care. I've watched it. It's about as entertaining as watching a cartoon series. You know, Ahsoka was,
yeah. And the thing is, everybody was so Ahsoka's gonna save Star Wars. That's what's gonna save Lucasfilm. You know, no. Keep forgetting who's writing this shit.
Yeah.
You all are looking at a character, okay, that was written pretty good in an animated show and was written pretty good in a book.
There's actually there's a channel called Aeronauts, and they've got a trailer for Ahsoka that they made, and it's like it'd be as if the trailer was made in like 1984 or is it 1974? But it's got a really actually I think it's 1984 because it's got kind of a Doctor Who vibe to it, you know. And
yeah,
it's a really neat trailer, and the voiceover is awesome. He's like. They've got so many good lines in that trailer. It's like Ahsoka goes to find one of the last Jedi who's being hunted by the remnants of the Jedi, who's being, you know, it's as funny as shit.
Okay.
It definitely makes a stab at like the fact that Luke is no longer the last Jedi, you know. It's like oh.
But I mean, see, that's all of that is what's confused. What would have been confusing to me, because see, at this point, he should be the only Jedi.
Yeah.
Unless he's trained a hand, you know, maybe he's in 20 or 30 years, or he's managed to train a couple, and they, you know, so maybe he has a handful or two.
Well, you see, like I said, it's how they get around it. Ahsoka is a former Jedi, you know, and Ezra is a missing Jedi, and you know the two that are the two dark Jedi in the show, they're you know ex Jedi or they're whatever remnants of the Jedi. So they're not all Jedi. They're not really Jedi. They're just kind of Jedi. That's how Luke can slip. See, they really took Obi-Wan's line of a certain point of view. I think they took it a little too far.
Yeah. I mean, because there would be Luke and however many he's managed to train since the death of the Emperor. And however many they've managed to train. So I mean, how they would, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. I was actually I was watching a video that basically it's like a video version of the Heir to the Empire book. And I forgot that in that book, Luke hadn't really he kind of started training Leia, but didn't train anybody else yet. You know, and that was about 8 years after, I think, after the Return of the Jedi.
Someone who really doesn't know all that much about Star Wars. Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel weird even asking. But wasn't one of the things from the original movies always there is another?
There was that. They were talking about Leia.
Well, was that ever
for the
confirmed?
Jedi, yes. In Empire Strikes Back, you have no idea who they're talking about, but in Return of the Jedi, you find out that it's his sister. Leia.
But is that? I know we think it's Leia, but is it ever confirmed?
Yeah, they confirm it at Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The only thing is, she would need to be trained.
But that's what I'm saying. They confirm that Leia is who they were talking about?
Yeah.
Or we assume that's
No,
who they were talking about if she was
They
trained.
literally say it in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they say it in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Like Obi-Wan's ghost is sitting on the log because he's tired, telling Luke the reason why he didn't tell Luke the whole truth, and then then he basically says, there is another, and Luke realizes that it's Leia,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes into the whole story about Leia and Luke and Leia when they were hidden from the Emperor.
Which I'm wondering how Darth missed that fact that he had 2 kids. I mean,
No idea.
If you think about it,
You would think the Force would have been able to.
Yeah, he would have been able to sense, because
At least a basic sonogram could do.
Well, I mean, especially with Luke. Luke was supposed to have been such as, a pilot. So, and that's one of the traits of a Jedi, the ability to pilot, a ship.
Well, I think it's funny is there's actually a string of comic books that go over Vader, how Vader finds out who Luke Skywalker is, and when he finds out and he realizes that that the Emperor lied to him about Padme, he's standing there and he gets really freaking mad, and he almost cracks the windshield of his Star Destroyer out, the glass on the bridge. You just see it cracking. Like, oh yeah, that's not a good idea, dude. Okay, maybe for you, not for anybody else. All right, but yeah, he sends. I forget how he. I think he hires Boba Fett to do a little bit of to basically find and kill the rebel pilot that blew up the Death Star. And Boba Fett tracks Luke to Tatooine and basically ambushes him at Obi-Wan's hut, because Luke went to Obi-Wan's hut looking for any additional like text or script, some things to help him learn how to use the Force better.
Uh-huh.
And Boba Fett ambushes him, and Luke barely gets out alive. But Boba Fett learns his name, and then when he reports back to Vader, he gives Vader the name, and then Vader's like, "Wait a minute, what? His name is Skywalker," and that's where like a whole new avenue starts to form in the books. But it wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad story.
Yeah, that would have been, that should have actually been probably a little, some kind of work, some kind of way into Empire.
Welcome, Admiral Teague, to
Hello.
the panel, and with a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much.
How you guys
Admiral
doing?
Teague.
Nice to see everybody. I just want to say right now that I understand and can explain, but will not be talking about Loki. It is idiocy. Just heading LDG off right at the pass. Don't fucking ask me to explain that bullshit again.
Dude, I watched the most recent episodes like twice now. I'm fucking.
It's not you, LDG. It's fucking stupid.
I'm fucking lost in that show. That show doesn't make a fucking lick of sense to me.
You're not lost. They throw flashbangs at the audience to keep you from getting oriented. We don't know why he was running away to start the season. We don't know what this conflict is over. Everything that happened at the end of last season was thrown out the window, and something changed off screen. That's all you need to know. It's bullshit, and they're going to pull the rug out from under you in episode 6, and it won't make sense. And they'll wait 2 years, and they'll pretend like season 2 didn't happen either. It's just like these are the same assholes who bought you She-Hulk. What do you want? This is Star Trek Discovery level writing. How's everybody doing?
I checked out in season 1 when they said the Infinity Stones are just paperweights. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You have a reality stone. The reality stone is supposed to eliminate reality or create its own. To me, that seems a little bit more prevalent than a time bubble area, whatever fucking place they're in.
But we have 4 or 5 plays. We have 4 or 5.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, we have 4 or 5 penalty booths where you sit outside of time and live a terrible, miserable life.
Yeah. That you forget your life every like 30 minutes. Yeah.
Basically, is that FKHC 2005 Tim the Enchanter?
What? Who? What? What are you talking about?
Which I have not made.
Tim is just Tim. Have you not met Tim before?
Tim, Chris,
I have not. I only know FKHC Tim the Enchanter. Yeah, I know your avatar. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, this is my other avatar. My animated avatar. Darth Infinity Jar Jar, baby. You said in big doo-doo now.
I never thought I'd say this, but Jar Jar Binks was a refreshing and original character compared to every single person, even in Ahsoka, even those created by other people, because they weren't like they were described. And I hear we're going forward with Heir to the Empire. We're going to make sure that we leave those lousy, annoying Skywalkers and Solos out of this story so they can't screw it up with their good times and enjoyable dialogue.
Yeah. Oh.
They really need to hire Roland Emmerich. He was always the poor man's George Lucas. Moonfall would have worked as a Star Wars tale. Oh, the Force is making the Moonfall. People would have stand so hard for that. It's a great movie. You just don't fucking understand it because you didn't watch 15 years worth of fucking Clone Wars, you asshole. Didn't do your homework. So
I watched
Star Wars people.
I watched all this Clone Wars. No. No.
Hell, Clone Wars didn't follow canon because Anakin was not a Jedi.
He's not a master, but he is a knight.
No,
he was.
You have
He's never a master, only a master of evil.
You have to be a Jedi in order to have a Padawan.
No, you have to be a knight. He was a Jedi. He wasn't a master. There are knights and there are masters. Obi-Wan is Padawan in movie 1, a knight in movie 2, and a master in movie 3. Qui-Gon is a master right away
Yeah.
out of the gate. And like
Yeah.
Obi-Wan
They
is like the
reference
world's
that too.
oldest. Yeah. No, and
They
Obi-Wan
even
is sort
say-
of an old and dumb Padawan because he's
When-
like 23 or something.
When they send him to go after Grievous, they even say a master is required for this, and they send Obi-Wan.
Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And now, sit down, young Skywalker. Remember, like he was a Jedi. He was on the Jedi Council. He wasn't part of the Jedi Civilian Complaint Review Board. This ruddy Jedi cut off my arm in a cantina in Mos Eisley. I bled all over the place. My lightsaber is quite.
That's not
non-functional.
possible. He would have cauterized instantly.
Yeah.
That one doesn't, though.
My big gripe about when they cut off arms, I really think they should vaporize that arm.
It's been 17 years since you've had that problem. You'll be okay. No one loses arms anymore in Star Wars.
It's just not right. I just don't think there should be an arm left. Just you can leave the rest of the body. That's fine. You force protected it somehow, but that arm, that's gone. Evidence clean.
No, but it wouldn't burn up. It would.
Dude, it's a plasma
I
sword.
think what he's
Yeah,
I
boy.
think what he's saying is if you cut off the Jedi's arm, if he's like a good Jedi, like the way his body disappears, his arm would just disappear. But that makes too much sense. So I think that maybe you have another
No,
theory.
I
Go
just
ahead,
think
tell
the
me.
arm
Yeah,
should be
I know.
vaporized.
No, it wouldn't, because the only thing it would do is cauterize where it made contact.
Which is
Maybe.
why maybe Obi-Wan's doesn't work at the cantina. He's had it and used it for so long. He needs like a new kyber crystal.
If it wasn't like 10,000 fucking degrees, you know.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would
See-
say let George Lucas figure this out, but he sold it. So
The problem with lightsabers is that they reference two forms of technology with lightsabers. They reference plasma beams or laser swords. Which is it? You know, if it's
That's
a
like
plasma
saying
beam-
he has a Glock, but he keeps calling it a pistol.
a Glock is that's a good one.
Oh God, I still
Kapla Arabic Sander. This is Kapla Bird of 5. I was checking work, email and stuff. Glad I caught you live. Well, Arabic, glad you made it. Yeah, this was an unusual stream for me. And I'd say we're closer to the end than the beginning. An extra hour with Bird.
Did you enjoy today's election, Bird? Did you vote?
I voted absentee because
What may I ask
Yeah,
you something?
right.
Was that the most pointless election you've seen? How many people
It
ran
is
on all
pretty
three
much.
slots? It was like county judge, like Bob Jones, Democrat, Bob Jones, Republican, Bob Jones, Family Responsibility Party, Bob Jones, the Family
Exactly.
Non-Responsibility Party, anarchists for Bob Jones. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's the reality in New York. Our judges, especially, they're just we don't really get much choice. You can vote. You can vote. It's the same person in all columns.
The real election was back in June. It's the Democratic primary, and those people win pretty much every seat in New York. It's just the way it is. And when the Republicans had their chance, they gave us George Santos. I don't get it. I had a hard time voting at all, and I don't know if I'm going to be showing up for the next election to vote at all. That was the most pointless exercise of my life. What a waste of an hour.
Well, you are free to write in Berto Prey 5.
I actually I wrote it in, but I wrote it in the original Klingon, so I don't know. They'll have to.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
tough one.
You know what?
Yeah.
I said to them, please give me my ballot in Klingon. And they're like, sir, you're going to have to do it in Galactic Standard. That's
Yeah, there we have 389 other languages.
I know.
Or
Like
you
the
can-
Romulans got their ballot, no fucking problem. These two Romulans walked past me. They gave them
Fucking
ballots right
Romulans.
away. Yeah, freaking refugees taking up our money, living at that camp. If Starfleet wasn't an evil matriarchy, they would have figured out how to help them. Obviously, I'm
Ever
talking about
since
the
the
new
Romulans,
Trek Romulans. Yeah.
ever since the Romulans came, the neighborhood never smelled the same.
You know what I hate about the Romulans really more than anything is that they had a whole empire, but chose to put their entire population and all their assets by that one planet so it could be wiped out with a disaster that you could only see, 20 million years away with our technology now? What a bunch of stupid assholes. It's like, let's go on a kamikaze run into our own sun. There's no excuse for them to get caught by what happened to them. It takes millions of years. There's tons of signs, and they had a huge fleet. They wouldn't have come groveling for help, and they wouldn't have gotten taken off the map as a power by the loss of one system. That's like saying, like, if California, if LA or New York is gone, like America's over. No, it would suck, but we're gonna live on.
I mean, well, hell, the Romulans weren't about shit in the first place. It took a supernova for you guys to realize that.
The Romulans, I
JBs.
thought were cool. I thought the Romulans were cool until New Trek.
There was nothing cool about them.
Hey, you know what, Bert? Let me ask you a question. I was on another Star Trek panel, and the people said, look at how they kept these Romulans and Klingons so very consistent with what they were from TOS to TNG.
Yeah.
And I had to stop them right there. And I say, I feel like they kind of swapped traits. And these people were like, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Picard season 3 was high art. And I'm just like, okay, guys, let's move on. But
one of them, you were in one of them groups, huh?
They were okay, but you know what? Anyone can get a microphone and anyone can talk about Star Trek, and people can talk about watching as many episodes as you want. But there are certain things that you notice, like from TOS to TNG, the Romulans and the Klingons, they do look mostly the same, but they swap a few traits. It's the Romulans who are honorable in TOS.
Yeah.
The Klingons
Well,
are like
a lot of that.
deceitful dicks.
I mean, that's
A lot of that happened because of the script change from Romulans to Klingons in Star Trek 2.
3.
Three. Wait, hold on. 3. Okay, but wait, hold on. By Star Trek 3, don't we already have like 2 years of TNG going on?
No.
Not that we'd seen the Romulans.
No, we don't.
No.
Okay.
No, TNG started after the voyage home.
Yeah.
I thought there was a little more overlap, but you would know.
You're right.
No, the voyage home was one of the things that made TNG happen. It was such a the voyage home was such a big hit that's when they started talking about bringing back creating a new track.
I feel like it was all just a building up to Star Trek 5.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. Here's the question I have about Romulans and this honor shit. What is so honorable about them?
In Balance of Terror, you can see it. You got to kind of watch the episode.
No, that was that's
word duty.
One Romulan officer, okay, and that kind of scenario between Kirk and him at the end of that battle has happened so many times throughout history. And a lot of them have been documented. That does not necessarily mean the entire race or country or whatever is honorable. It only means
this is Star Trek. Every Ferengi is a piece of shit. Every Klingon is deceitful. Every Romulan has.
You don't look at it like you never look at it.
I'm a speciesist when it comes to fake races. What can I tell you? To me, all Romulans are pretty deceitful. And if one's different, then they're a different Romulan. The baseline Romulan has in TNG is pretty deceitful and pretty.
All you got to do is collect the old Decipher Star Trek collectible card game, because then you'll find out every TNG Romulan character everyone except maybe 5 characters, and there's about 30, have treachery. All the Klingons, except maybe 4, have honor.
Right.
I don't know why.
And the Klingons who get in trouble, and the Klingons who start the war and get into trouble and and cause all those effing problems, they're down with who? The Romulans.
Duras.
They're getting help from the Romulans. Duras is a Romulan agent. So is his father, and he's the one without honor, and he's an atypical Klingon. He's not typical. He prevails for a little while, but he's not typical.
But
And Arabic Sonder reminds us how the TNG episode Defector shows us how one Romulan can be
Very
honorable.
honorable. Yeah, Riker's father comes back as a Romulan, I believe, right? And that's when we get the only time we ever hear the description of Romulus, and we go see what it looks like on the holodeck, and it's like,
Riker's
I
father.
pity anyone who's
that
it was the
wasn't
same
Riker's-
actor.
That was
It
not.
might have
no,
been
it
the same
wasn't.
actor. But
It
is
was
Defector
not.
the one with the younger Defector? Is that the one with the guy who's like 50? And he's got, I have the plans for an invasion of the Federation, and they're like, for a
Yeah.
little while it looks legit, but then they find out that they used him as a useful idiot.
Yeah.
We see
not
the
the same
holodeck. We see Romulus at night. He's on the holodeck, and is it Riker he talks to? He's like, or Data. I pity
Okay.
anyone who has never seen the awesome beauty of
Data,
Romulus
yeah.
Prime. The
That blows
awesome
a
beauty
hole
of
in your
Romulus
theory
Prime.
about
That
them
got
being-
me.
That blows a hole in your theory about them being honorable in the first place. They would not trick.
That's
they would,
not
if
what
they
I.
were
that's
honorable,
not
they
what I
would
said.
not trick a federal.
That's not what I said. But now you've moved to the
a
point where I've
general like
said that they had. Now you've moved to the point where I said they are deceitful. In TNG, they are different than they are in TOS. Not massively.
That's based
But
on
it's
one person. And if you
Can it be
if you
based on
look,
3 people if you agree with me? Because it'll be Gene
No.
Roddenberry, you, and me.
look,
Uh,
that was one Romulan.
What about the other time we meet the
I
Romulans?
do
And
agree that
captain's okay too.
in
That captain's not
TOS
dishonorable.
in TOS, the Romulans are more honorable
There we
than
go.
they are in TNG for sure.
Right. It's not night and day. I'm not trying to say that, but we swap their traits out. The Romulans
I mean, even
become
the
deceitful.
Enterprise incident, the Romulans were being honorable.
Right.
It was the Federation that was deceitful.
Exactly. Well,
The
humans are capable.
Federations came in lying and cheating and stealing.
Like they did in Vendrakar when they went in there against their own prime directive with a mission that was inherently wrong to tell them how to live their lives and impose a Federation way of life on them. If I were you, I'd start building bombs. Yeah, nice way to leave the planet. We're coming through your system whether you want it or not. It was every single thing they said they wouldn't do. And I love Balance of Terror. It's a great episode, but it's a problem. Thank God they made it their mission and not Kirk's decision to do all that crazy shit, because they were just like, make this happen. Mr. Fox is pretty clear. We're going to do whatever we want.
JP says Romulans have no honor. They are deceitful and conniving.
Thank you, JPs. An honorable warrior meets you face to face in battle. They don't invent cloaking devices and sneak up and blow up one of your bases.
In Hunt for Red October, we have a very honorable warrior working for the second most inadmirable nation of the 20th century.
And he got as far away from that as he could when he had the opportunity to do so. Now, didn't he?
We could split hairs with this all day. I'm going to feel how I feel.
No, but he got away from that dishonorable government as soon as he could. Him and a couple of his officers that he had trained that were like-minded. Correct?
Well, they all wanted to come to the United States.
That's not what happened. Oh, wait, in Red October? Yeah,
Yeah.
in Red October, he does use the ship as uses a submarine as leash. But That submarine has a clicking device, doesn't it? And what's
Yeah.
Captain Romulan? I mean, Captain Ramius.
Well, it's a
Listen.
very, very quiet submarine. And if you know any submariners, they'll tell you that Russian submarines aren't that quiet.
No submarine's that quiet. It's a fictional submarine that we still haven't invented the tech for.
Well, it's that time. The extra hour with Bird, and we're coming up on 2
We have
hours.
exhausted.
We guys got an extra hour tonight. So before we go, let's talk to Admiral Teague. Admiral, what do you got going on?
I'm thinking Lawman Bass Reeves maybe on Thursday afternoon, and of course Saving Star Trek on Friday about 5:30 after Comic Relief Crusader, and Sundays at about 7.
What was that?
That's
Saving
good.
the Titanic?
Saving Star Trek is my channel
Oh,
and my show. My channel's Admiral Teague. My show is Saving Star Trek. What can I tell you? I have a penchant for contradiction and good branding.
And his times are all Eastern Standard.
Yes, I am on Eastern Standard Time, or as I call it, One America Time, because all of America is on Eastern Time, whether they know it or not.
yeah, nobody's perfect.
I'm not going to learn the metric system so I can figure out what time it is in California. That's commie stuff. But hey, my link's in the chat.
Oh, and Scotty's in the chat. Scotty says, ahoy all. Miss Lundell is correct. Ramus was stealing the first strike technology. Got flaw all.
Actually, I'm correct, but what a shock that someone would take a contrary view to me for absolutely no reason than to call me wrong. What a surprise.
JP says there's nothing to say.
The most influential and controversial 381 member channel person here, the unironic leader of the largest new Trek watching community where we all hate the show.
Tim, what you got going on?
Absolutely nothing. I have a week off and I'm going to enjoy it.
Good for you.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, they're remodeling my store right now, so yay.
Mr. Lundell, any upcoming streams?
Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Time. The Saturday cinema movie will be Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow.
Hey, that's like the only other movie with the Emperor. Cool.
Other than that, I'm chilling.
What do you think? Anybody think LDG is still awake? Yes.
Louis!
Don't call him that. Ah, God. Are you awake, LDG? He's asleep.
Physical media.
Stay asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm awake. Thanks, Lundell, you asked.
Damn it. Fuck, Lundell.
Now Tim's going to have to
tell you
hear.
not to wake the beast.
Tim's going to have to hear this in the next 20 minutes.
I'll just walk in the
You
other
closing down, Bird?
Yeah, we're closing down. Anything you want to say before?
Not much. Oh, hey, Teague, what's going on?
Hey.
Not much, guys. Thanks for having me.
You're
I'll catch you guys next time.
Okay. Check out the Underground if you want to see LDG.
Mukbang and sleep. Yep.
freethenet.org/underground. Thank you guys all again. Melted Copper, Arabic Sander, JP's, Scotty, and anyone else. But I'm not scrolling all the way up at the moment. Arabic wants a sleep stream. I don't actually.
Star Trek ASMR.
How about a no doxing stream?
It might not be the worst thing to do a sleep stream and just see what the hell's going on at night. But if I do it, it'll be on the X channel, not
If
this one.
Ethan Van Sciver can have 2,000 people watch his chair for 2 hours while he forgets he's got the stream going live, then you can do it. Man. You can do it.
I've done it. I've done sleep streams before. It's really not the end of the world. I just, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I have to remember to turn the camera off before I pee. But other than that, it's not so bad. Okay. Thank you again.
Later, guys.
Have a good night, all.
All
God
right.
bless.
Love you all.
Maui, get off my face.